Hello and welcome to another Let's Play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Winds of Change. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, it's on Steam. Anyways, on the last Let's Play, we had our first heart-to-heart with Sophie, and then our second one, but before that, we found out that we missed a bit of Fortame back in Valinor. So we did that stuff, which is kind of weird since it's like time travel. It's like, are we ever going to get out of Valinor? It'd be interesting to see the world. And it's like, bro, we've seen most of the world except for Bolteus. And then went and got the last heart-to-heart with Hal, who went into Eastcrown and found a ship in ice, which I think might be a reference to Major Minor. I'm not sure if it's connection to it, this game. Who knows? That'd be an interesting thing to look at. Actually, we might go and do this last. Mainly because it's a bit of ways to get down there, and we could check out other bits of the world first. This one. Ian. Let's check out Alarinthia. Docks. Good thing we can fast travel. Man, that music, when you first get on that spot. I don't like how good it is. Gotta make sure. Hey everybody, I have to go to specific areas just to make sure that I'm not missing anybody's heart-to-hearts or anything like that. How about the tavern? You think you would go there? I guess you might have to go to all these places again later for Sophie's last heart-to-heart. If they have to be in order. Okay. It's probably in the cathedral. Rebel HQ. Let's do the exit first. Just in case he wants to go to the church of Twelwomvoort. Nothing here? Nothing here. Nothing here. Main entrance. Yeah, there you are. Look through the main atrium of the Rebel HQ. It's not fully clean, blood still stains the floor, armor scattered about. I'm not sure what they plan to do with the pieces of the honor guard. Sylvie is looking around, and he appears sad. I don't blame him, this was where he launched his attack. Him and his men killed almost all of us. We almost lost that day.
I already had my doubt when we launched this attack. If only we had our fight a little bit earlier, I could have prevented this. Touching that blade at the same time as you, that was the catalyst. I don't think you knew the truth of the monarchy at that point. It's almost as if they were calling out to me, trying to change my stance. Well, I suppose it worked. I stand here ready to repay you for my sins.
His words seemed so genuine, it's almost hard to think he could be lying. At first, he seemed unsure about whether or not he'd rejoin the Triumvirate. It started out as a revenge quest against Halen, has certainly grown quickly.
But we mustn't waste time on talk like that. Focusing on the past stops you from seeing the future. That's what is truly important, your assault on Balteus.
I agree. Sophie doesn't seem like one to waste time with pleasantries.
So, I guess I'll be teaching you 2 lessons this time. First of all, focus on the war. Don't waste time with being friendly. I've seen you and your comrades. That bond is dangerous during battle. We can't have you taking a sword for a loved one. You are this world's future, Monarch. You need to be smart. Feelings? They cloud judgment. I know this all too well, and so should you. And in your situation, it is best to rely on things that serve you without hesitation. A friend with emotional stakes may not follow every order. That is a major flaw. That blade, however, and the beings it can create, will cater to your desire.
He points at the suits of armor scattered around the floor. That means that the next lesson must be related to the honor guard. The triumvirate could create a near infinite amount. Could I do that too?
Normally, the blade requires a sacrifice and the energy within to power that armor. But there is so much energy within you. I wonder if you could do it by yourself. Imagine an entire force of honor guard soldiers serving you. Such power.
If it can control them.
The triumvirate is right to want that blade back. In your hands, it is a threat. And it makes sense why they'd want you dead, too. You are the monarchy. Take out that blade for me, Monarch. Let's see if you can do what I think you can.
I do as instructed and take out the blade.
It responds to your will, your desire. Think of it as an extension of your body. A new muscle, ready to be trained. Hold it out toward those scattered pieces of armor. See if your resolve is strong enough to give them life. That's all it takes. A spark in your mind to ignite a flame.
Held on the blade, pointing it out towards the suit of armor. I keep my eyes focused on them, trying to control them. The pieces start to move, rocking back and forth. I focus with all my strength, and they start to shake more. But as Sophie mentioned, it's like a new muscle. I can't flex it for too long. The pieces stop shaking and remain still, just as soon as they begun to move.
Disappointing.
I scoff at him and assume a neutral stance.
It seems as if you can only use the blade while under duress. I suppose that's not too bad. We'll be in Balteus soon enough, after all. At least now you know what to do. Follow my directions and you'll be fine.
He starts to walk away, but quickly turns around.
There won't be enough time for you to master your fears. You might have to embrace these dangerous situations in order to prevail. But that blade is so powerful. I'd do whatever it takes to harness that power. I'll see you around, Monarch. Feel free to keep practicing if you feel the need. This is going better than I expected, to say the least.
This time, he dismisses himself for real. Embrace the danger and become more powerful? It seemed like a backwards logic, but a lot of things were backwards lately. If the blade responded to my fear and danger, then I guess I knew what to do. Because Sophie was right. I could never retrain myself in time for a final attack. Was not a situation to be in, but I guess it's my situation. I couldn't ensue risk. His implication was that if I were in danger, the suits of armor would have risen up. When the time comes, I can only hope his prediction is correct. I wonder what other lessons there were to learn. What else could the blade do? Perhaps I'll learn more from Sophie the next time we meet. Wherever that ended up being. His advice keeps playing on repeat in my mind. Emotional stakes could be a hindrance in battle. Battle? Soon, would I truly let something like that endanger our cause? Would I sacrifice myself to save a comrade? Or, in this case, I guess it works the other way around. I close my eyes, pray that I never need to have to find out. Okay. Oh, we've been... I guess we could take a look here. Looks like I found all the books, which is good. I wonder what this would be. Seems to be an entire gap right there. Where was B?
So we might have to fight Ulric. That's pretty scary to think about.
Only if the
Well, his...
well,
So...
I guess if
No,
I
it's
chose
not.
the other
Huh?
guy,
if it were
then
just what they have to.
I think...
if
I
I
don't
chose
think-
Pro,
Then
then
I know...
Yeah,
I can never...
a lot of.
If we have to call...
that would be there. Personal quarters. Ooh, he's taking the initiative. Yes. Sat on my bed, thinking about the blade and what I could do with it. As if some sort of cue, I heard a knock on my door. Sovi enters. Seems much more relaxed than normal, like he's comfortable.
So, did you manage to get any more practice in? Or were you just going to improvise when we got to Balteus? Both are good options given the circumstances. I'm just curious.
Like he just left right recently. Quick save. Cause I don't know if I'm lying or not.
That's good. The more the better, that's what I say. But at the same time, you're limited. I trained my entire life. If you only have a few days, don't expect anything substantial.
Takes a few steps forward and sits beside me on the bed.
Being down here has made my mind race almost non-stop. I mean, what I did to you and your family is unforgivable. Yet here we are, trying to move past it, letting me atone. The most important thing on my mind is why? Why did you welcome me with open arms after what I did? I feel like anybody with common sense would have put me to the blade.
I'm not gonna do this. I didn't see that, but I'm still not gonna do this. Common sense isn't one of my strong suits. Maybe I made a mistake. Yeah, let's do that.
I'm assuming you were the only one. The look I got from your comrades was definitely condemning. But then what makes you different? Why could you tell?
He sighs and slims down a little bit.
Well, that's all I really wanted to talk about. If you'll excuse me, I'll be on my way. Good luck with everything, Monarch.
Gets up and starts to walk away, but I stop him. It should be a good time to give him the gift I bought. Grab the writing utensils and hand them over to Sovi.
You got me a gift? Really? You shouldn't have.
He inspects them with a soft smile on his face.
I was looking at these in the town square. It means a lot to me that you did this, Monarch. Anybody else would have just went on with their day.
Wait, my relationship changed? Am I having a third sausage with my, just sausage taco? Maybe I'm not just anybody else.
I don't really know what to say. So I guess I'll take that as a sign to stop talking. Thank you for thinking of me as a friend. Truly. That's more than I can say about everybody else I know. In fact, I don't think I've ever gotten a gift before. From anybody. Not even my father, who these pens reminded me of in the first place.
He scoffs and looks down at them once more.
But that's a story for another time. I'm here to help you, not bore you with sad tales. Perhaps we can talk more before we set sail.
Yeah, I'm gonna be talking with everybody. Not another word, he leaves the room for good. I'm not sure if the choice of a present was good or a bad thing now. Oh, come on. Seems to remind him something he deemed a sad tale. Well, there's nothing I can do about it right now. Maybe he'd tell me that tale the next time we spoke. With our final battle looming, I might not have much time. But there's one thing I can say for sure. Sophie's become a friend. Second chance is truly a great thing, as long as the person is genuine. I can tell that if I earned his loyalty, he'd be indispensable during our attack. Loyalty mission, Yin. Okay, that should be everyone. Just see there's nothing here. Okay. So tell me about this loyalty. It doesn't seem to be there. Yeah, well, we'll just... Yeah, let's focus on Ulric first, then her, and then go down the line, leaving him for last, since he doesn't seem to have one there. Yin. I stand alone in my room, swinging the blade from side to side, like a doofus. Everything seems different than I did back in the start of my journey. When I first touched the blade, I could barely even hold on to it. But now, I'm starting to master it. I'm able to make it my own. However, just as I think that, the blade disappears from my hand. Ulric laughs and turns around. Didn't even notice him come in.
Sorry, it's just an old prank I used to pull on Sovi. I'd take the blade from him when he least expected it. I guess it has a time and place. Sorry if I startled you.
He swings the blade a few times before handing it back to me. I shake my head. It didn't startle me. It was actually kind of funny.
I came here because I assumed you wanted answers. Learning I was the Grand Inquisitor must have been a shock. I'm glad you have a clear head. You could tell that I've changed.
I nod.
But you deserve to know what I was like before I changed. In order to hide from my past, I haven't exactly been honest. But I wasn't lying to you. It was more like I was lying to myself.
In a way, sort of makes sense. I just decide to let him talk. He approaches me and sits down on the bed. I sit beside him.
There was a man named Ulric in Allarenthian legend. He pledged to change the nation, just like I always have. The barbaric way of running things was too much for him to bear. A lot of the specific details have been lost to time, but it goes like this. He was young, and his parents wanted the same thing, so they fought for it. They died in the arena, and Ulric couldn't handle it. He ran away from the nation, but he pledged to return one day and change Alarenthia for good. The ideals passed on to him by his parents still live on to this day. That's likely what inspired Vivian to launch his own insurrection. Of course, the story that's handed down is never really the truth. To put it bluntly, I'm the same Ulric. It's been so long, it's hard to believe. I'm sure you had your suspicions, so I just came here to confirm them for you.
Actually, it's a bit hard to believe, but I let him continue.
My parents hated the way the nation was run. They passed that hatred down onto me as I grew up. But they got older. Before too long, they were decrepit. They could never change anything. So the burden was passed on to me, a rising star in the Colosseum. I never fought for leadership, just regular tournaments, but I never lost. One day, I guess the Triumvirate noticed how strong I was. They approached me. They told me that if I left Alarenthia behind, they'd train me. They'd give me the power to return one day and change everything. I was young and naive. I agreed without hesitation. I wanted to serve our gods. But before they accepted me, I had to prove that I was truly ready. Serving them would involve leaving everything behind. It'd be a fresh start. They devised a test for me, to make sure that I was truly ready to devote myself.
This doesn't sound good. He gulps, like he's afraid to tell me what happens next.
They made me kill my parents.
Yeah, I thought so. Looks down at the floor.
In their eyes, it told them that I was truly ready to leave my old life behind. Because I was young and stupid, it made a twisted kind of sense in my head. I did what they told me to. But as they died, I told them I was making their dream a reality.
I mean, if they're old and decrepit and they're devoting everything to the cause, they might be like, this is a good idea, but we'll have to see how they react.
I was caught and exiled into the desert. That's how I became a Sixer. I survived the trials, was branded with this tattoo, and showed my worth. Their test was over. They took me over to Balteus and made me their servant. I served them by weeding out insurrections and ensuring they remained in power. After what seemed like an eternity, they came up with the idea of giving me an apprentice. That's when I met Sovi. They preyed on his weakness and naivety much like they did mine.
So what seemed like an eternity you're gonna tell me about your like immortality?
We worked together, traveling the world and killing the Triumvirate's enemies. Eventually, I realized that they weren't good people. I defected and joined the rebellion. If the timeline seems confusing, it's because it is. We are talking about millennia here.
So is Sovi like really old too? And how are you very old? Lived for a millennia? Which is about 1,000 years, right? I guess I could look it up. Define millennia. A period of 1,000 years, especially calculated from the dictionary, blah blah blah.
They gave us the gift of immortality. Well, they called it a gift. We would never succumb to old age, and mortal wounds would easily fade. I felt unstoppable, like I was the king of the world. Nothing could get in my way.
So you're not just ageless immortal, you're like immortal. Which you'd think you'd be able to just go back to that one place and be able to overthrow that one guy easily enough, right? He shrugs, clearly embarrassed at admitting such a fact.
But after a while, I realized it was a curse. It's crazy how much your perspective can shift so fast. Taking the dream of immortality into real life, it became a nightmare.
I guess that's how Pro could do the fake stabby thing, but I guess Pro could actually do the real stabby thing, and Ulric would be fine? Maybe? The slight scoff, he stands up and turns around to face me.
They knew what they were doing. They were creating slaves. Using that blade, they gave us what they deemed eternal life. I know we can use the blade too, but we can't reverse it. That should have been the first sign. I thought we did this willingly, but we really had no choice. It was all or nothing, an ultimatum. The biggest red flag. I've had this curse for far too long. It's made me a bad person. I no longer seek love, because everybody I love is just lost to time. I no longer seek happiness, because it's never permanent. Never. These fleeting emotions may mean a lot to you, but not me. It's an endless cycle of building myself up only to be cut back down. I thought I'd be like this until the world rotted away. Until I met you, that is.
Kind of reminds me of Highlander. Like, I know I made the Highlander joke, but like Highlander where early on in the movie, he falls in love with somebody in like Celtic times, and then she eventually gets old and dies. He reaches out and holds my hands, squeezing them softly.
Someone who can use the blade. Someone who can lift the curse. And after all we've been through, even someone I can grow old with. Please use that blade and give me my life back. I don't want to belong to them.
Is this going to be a thing that we're doing now or after the battle, you know?
I think I want to belong to you.
Oh. Could remove the curse the Triumvirate put on him? That'd be good, but then he'd be weak and vulnerable. No doubt the source of his strength is partly due to his immortality. If I remove it, he could perish during the attack on Balteus, and easily. We'd be removing our biggest advantage. I'm not sure what to do. He looks at me, awaiting my response. I don't know what to say next. Unfortunately, I don't feel like this is one of those things where I could just be like, hey, give me a moment, you know, after the battle. Granted, I might die, but let's do the thing for him, you know? I tell him I'll remove the curse. His face lights up like I've never seen before. He takes a few steps forward and plants a soft kiss on my cheek.
Thank you. So much.
I grab the blade and try to figure out what to do. One thing was for sure, he'd soon have his life back. He would have the freedom to grow old and finally find peace. He would. Earn Ulric's loyalty. Before he leaves my room, I make sure that his dream becomes reality. What? So we just did it like that? It said before he leaves the room, I made his dream become reality. How did that work anyways? I feel like 4 minutes is not enough time to do it. So I guess that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. Hey, we hopefully did not do anything stupid. So anyways, that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. So comment, guys, I like comments, tell me what you like, dislike. Hey, morale went up. Tips, tricks, otherwise, if you like my YouTube and like to grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos that have grown. Please remember to spay near your animals to help control the pit population. And until next time, let's play me, GamerWolfSix, of Winds of Change. Winds of Change? Yeah. See ya.